Minister of East African Affairs. We welcome Right Honorable Prime Minister.
The Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister, our guest of honor, the Cabinet Ministers, Ministers of State present, Honorable Members of Parliament present, representatives of the development partners, government officials from both the center and local governments, representatives of civil society, the academia, professional bodies, experts in the built environment, the media, distinguished guests, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and honor that I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this physical development plan launch that has been organized under the theme for inclusive, orderly, and sustainable development of Uganda. First and foremost, the government duly recognizes the need for orderly development as enshrined in Article 242 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Further, Section 3 of the Physical Planning Act 2010, as amended, declares the entire country as a planning area, thus bringing the country under planning control. The Physical Planning Act 2010, as amended, Section 18 of the Act still highlights the different hierarchies of the physical development plans, with the National Development Plan being the highest, followed by the regional, district, urban, and local physical development plans, which ought to conform with the NPDP. The Physical Development Plan, therefore, is an important legal instrument, and the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development uses them to ensure sustainable and effective use and management of land for orderly development of urban and rural areas. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Ministry of Lands and Urban Development, in execution of its mandate, prepared the first ever National Physical Development Plan 2021-2040. The plan was approved by Cabinet on 6th November 2023, gazetted on 13th November in the National Uganda Gazette as a national guide and framework for integration of physical and spatial planning. It is now a working document which will go a long way to guide the development of the country when compared to. Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister, our distinguished guests, the NPDP gives a strategy to resolve the conflicting pressures of land, such as industrial land use, commercial use, land for infrastructure development, settlements, agriculture, land use, tourism, wildlife, antiquities, natural resources, which have all been accommodated on a fixed piece of land as the population increases. The National Development Plan is aligned with the national development frameworks such as Uganda Vision 2040, the National Development Plan, and the NRM Manifesto, which is used to govern the country in the process of transforming from a peasant society to a modern industrialized and urban society. Right Honorable and our distinguished guests, allow me to share with the strategic objectives of the plan. The plan seeks to maximize the regional balance, equity, and social inclusion, where emphasis is put on developing polycentric regional and strategic cities and linking them to all critical infrastructure. To maximize agricultural productivity, the NPDP target a multiplier of our agricultural yield 3 times by 2040 through enhancement and consolidation of cooperatives of plant and secondary production zones and agricultural technology advancement. The plan also strategizes for sustainable urbanization full compact settlement, and regional agglomeration for growth and development. The plan also strategizes to protect the natural environment through restoration of eco-sensitive areas, emphasizing on green growth principle and deliberation planning of regions with potential economic niche and rich biodiversity values. And it also seeks to maximize the national connectivity of infrastructure development that services the entire country and the region. These could be delivered through shared infrastructure corridor where expressways, highways, mass water and power transfers, ICT and railways are accommodated. These objectives serve the overall goal of attaining sustainable spatial development through optimal land use anchored on the 12 pillars, which include environment, human capital, spatial economy, public services, settlements that include urbanization, infrastructure, where attention is given to utilities, land and transport, air and marine, governance that looks at regional integration and international relations. Therefore, the preparation of this plan was informed by the analysis of optimal locations and distribution of human settlements, land uses, including creating activities, natural resources and infrastructure networks that would maximize the benefit for each component while preserving the key values of social and cultural welfare and equality and environmental sustainability. Right Honorable Prime Minister and distinguished guests, the Ministry has also prepared an implementation action plan, popularly known as EAP, for the National Physical Development Plan 2021-2040. The implementation plan provides the basis of operationalizing the National Physical Development Plan and outlines key outcomes, outputs, and actions delivered by the responsible ministries, departments, and MDAs, as well as other actors who have a role to play in the development of the spatial framework of the country. The implementation plan is designed in a phased manner aligned to the NPDP in a bid for social integration of socio-economic planning and planning for this country. The implementation plan shall religiously follow the programmatic approach of the National Development Plan. Since the NPDP is an overarching plan that informs government of the special investment decisions and guides the lower level physical development plans, it will be operationalized by various MDAs and while performing their mandates that have a spatial perspective. The Ministry of Lands and Urban Development will coordinate MDAs and private actors, while the National Planning Authority, responsible for overseeing the integration of NPDP and NDPs. Districts and urban local government physical planning committees in their areas of jurisdiction are expected to play the oversight role in land use planning to ensure efficient translation of the implementation of the NPDP. Right Honorable Prime Minister and distinguished guests, the NPDP launch, which is being held today, is an important milestone in the sphere of physical planning profession. It has happened at a time when the physical planners are organizing themselves in a professional body according to with the Physical Planning Registration Act 2023. Therefore, we hope that it will be a great contribution to the country and the profession. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to recognize consultants who helped the ministry to prepare the NPDP. They are here with us in the room. And at an appropriate time, this plan will be distributed. We have the detailed physical plan, the national physical plan with us, and we are going to distribute it. As I conclude, I want to thank the government of Uganda, our development partners through the Competitive Enterprise Development Project, CEDEP, for funding the NPDP Plan 2021-2040, the first of its kind. Thank you very much. We appreciate the partnership. We appreciate the partnership with you. We are very grateful. I therefore urge all of us to participate in implementing the plan and in this launch, and share the knowledge and experiences and expertise here present and back home, so that we can be able to achieve a comprehensive, agreeable and implementable national development plan. I look forward to working closely with all of you to ensure that we implement the plan and are responsive to the needs of the people. I want to thank you for your attention and wish you well. I say all these words for God and my country, and God bless you all. Thank you. Yes.
The Right Honorable Second Deputy Prime Minister, First Deputy Prime Minister, my colleague ministers, honourable members of Parliament, representatives of development partners and the MDAs, representatives from the district local governments, the representatives of the academia, the private sector, the NGO representatives, the media, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Honorable, before I read this small statement which these people made, before you came, the ministry was showing some snap of what has been done by the Ministry of Lands and Urban Development in various cities and towns and rural areas in the country. It showed some good developments. The only comment I can make on those are two. One is maintenance. If a lot has been done, will it be maintained? Because the only way we can develop is to keep what we have done by maintaining it. Number two, if we want more development, then it is physical planning, which we are launching today. So I thought I should make those two comments before I can proceed. Let me also take this opportunity to introduce my colleagues, the ministers and members of Parliament, once again for you, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Kindly, I will start from the far. On my left, there is Mary Mugasa, the Minister of State for Urban Development, for Public Service. I think if I make that statement again, I might reserve for myself. We have the Honorable Joyce Sebugwawo, we have the arrow boy who never grows into an arrow man, the Honorable Musa Ichwero. We have the Honorable Magode Ikuya, historical. We have, you better look at me so that I can see your face. The Minister, Aisha. Since you know the names, there's the Honorable Mateke. There's, I think that's it. I'm not sure whether the others are ministers, but but they are graduating very slowly. They are about to be there. Then we have the Honorable Mayanja Sam, my colleague in the ministry. They are my two senior ministers, the Honorable Raphael Magezi. Honorable Magezi had to sit up here because I think the biggest number of guests here come from his territory. And if we had not sat him there, many of you would have been offended. Then we have my senior who supervises me, the Honorable Judith Labakoba. Can I have kindly the MPs to stand up? We seem to have none, but I think they're still on the way. But also, you know, the budget, as we're here, the budget process is taking place. You need money, so it's equally good that they are there. But when on your way, you can pass by Parliament and look at them. I welcome you all to the launch of this National Physical Development Plan and take this opportunity to thank all of you in your various capacities for honoring our invitation. It's indeed a great pleasure to participate in this important event and to see as many actors as possible who are impacted by the physical development plans and who are actually going to be the implementers witnessing this occasion. Because what we are doing here, you are deliberately selected. This is a culmination of a long process which was started some time back and is only proper that I recognize at least one of the people who started it earlier. I know it was started before him. He should not take all the credit, but Honorable Salam Musumba, Isaac, Isaac Musumba, who is also representing Isaac, Salam Musumba. The government of Uganda is committed to ensuring orderly, sustainable, and organized urban and rural development. And this is witnessed by its process of enacting the Physical Planning Act 2020, which was amended in 2010, which was amended in 2020, and the various policies, regulations, and strategies which were made thereunder. And I'm told the board of the National Physical Planning is in attendance, led by the chair, Amanda. You stand up for, and all the board members stand up. These are the people as we implement the physical planning, the plan that we have done here will be reaching to you in the various places. The National Physical Development Plan is a logical follow-up, therefore, of the steps which were taken and sets out the spatial strategic direction for orderly spatial development through optimal land utilization in the country, particularly the three elements of land use, infrastructure network, and human settlement, resulting in socio-economic transformation and overall attainment of National Vision 2040. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, the central objective of the NPDP is to guide the spatial and physical requirements for the implementation of physical development plans, programs, and activities undertaken by all actors here and beyond. When you go to do your programs, we expect you to be guided by this Bible of planning. However, Uganda's development potential is greatly affected by inadequacies in this planning. This is manifested by increasing informal settlements, not only in the cities, but in the small areas which we call trading centers as well, and in the villages. Inefficient transport systems, waste management challenges, increased vulnerabilities due to the impacts of climate change, and increased risks during events of natural disaster. If we take the following steps as a government, as a country, we can address some of these challenges. Number one, implement this National Physical Development Plan and international support those physical planning processes assiduously. A detailed implementation action plan has been prepared and it will be distributed to you people and will function as a tool in the process of plans prepared, as well as coordination with the state and the non-state agencies. Number two, if we can strengthen the institutional and technical capacities at the districts, at the cities, sub-counties, and the parish level, and enforce compliance to physical development plans at all these respective levels, we will be able to address some of these issues. This will require political, professional, and financial commitment. The MDAs and LGs, local governments, under their respective programs, should therefore be guided by the special provisions under the plan while preparing their respective program implementation action plans for the NDP 4. Number four, all government programs and projects should be required to align with the National Physical Development Plan and subsequent level spatial plans prior to government approval. This will ensure that project interventions are oriented to the desired objectives of attaining orderly development. Furthermore, the successful implementation of the National Physical Development Plan will require the national and district, city, and the physical development plans to be translated into a digital format. This migration from analog to digital formats will allow for easier tracking of approved physical plans, whether they are approved and whether they have been implemented and enforced, their preparation and viewing of information under project plans, the preparation and the dissemination of detailed plans to guide all developers. embarking on the implementation course, it is imperative to draw focus to the regional cities of Uganda, because they are already a force to be recognized with. These centers are already highly urbanized and need to be prioritized, particularly in the areas which have been annexed to them. You created the new cities and they annexed many new areas. If we want to achieve productive, sustainable, smart, and resilient urban centers for this country. Right Honorable Prime Minister and our guests, as we attest to the launch of the National Physical Development Plan today, I call upon all actors, including us here, at individual, institutional, communal, religious levels, to take charge, to contribute and take responsibility to achieve orderly, planned development. Physical planning cannot be seen or appreciated without attendant implementation and enforcement. I thank you for listening to me, for God and my country.
There is something on the microphone.
The Right Honourable Rebecca Kadaga, my colleagues, honourable ministers, our development partners, the local government leaders present, officials of the various ministries, departments and agencies of government, ladies and gentlemen. Before I say anything, let me first find out if the local government leaders are really present. And a good commander must know whether the field troops are on ground. Let me invite the local government political and technical leaders kindly stand up for recognition. Big clap for you. Thank you, thank you. Kindly take your seats.
Why don't we have the chairman first, then scouts?
Friends, I'm doing that because without these leaders helping us in implementation of what we have done, the development plan will remain a very wonderful document. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give my remarks on this auspicious occasion. I want to congratulate the government on this landmark achievement of the first ever National Physical Development Plan. Special thanks go to His Excellency the President of our Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency the Vice President, the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, our development partners, the Ministry itself, and all stakeholders who have made an input into the process and content of the National Physical Development Plan. On behalf of the local government sector and on my own behalf, I'm here to pledge our commitment and support to you, Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, towards the implementation of this plan. Without full and effective implementation, the National Physical Development Plan would remain a beautiful document on our shelves, and yet we should use it to influence the physical development and land use of our country. I want to assert that it is our responsibility as local governments to ensure that the plan is given effect and actualization through the local physical development plans of the various districts, cities, municipalities, town councils, and the sub-counties. It is this mutual reinforcement between the two ministries that I wish to emphasize here today. Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and Minister of Local Government have a complementary role in the country's fiscal development and urbanization. And as local governments, we are ready to collaborate with the ministry so that we can cause socio-economic and physical transformation of our country. To me, this is the essence of the rationale of the fiscal plan. Our chief guest and honorable colleagues, allow me to use this occasion to remind our friends from the local government, both the political and technical officials here present, and those who may be listening to us or reading these documents later on, of our roles in local government with respect to fiscal development planning. And I'm getting this from the Fiscal Planning Act, the Local Government Act, and other laws of the country. Under the Local Government Act, Section 35, the district and city council are prescribed as the planning authority of their areas of jurisdiction. We at the center, our role is to have the national plan, but think about it. You have to implement it in some district, or in some city, or in some municipality, or some town council, sub-county. And in each of these areas, the council in place is the planning authority there. Schedule 2 of the Local Government Act, Section 5, gives the decentralized services and activities to which local governments are responsible. And these include economic planning and fiscal planning. And under Schedule 4, the power of local governments to approve their plans and budgets cannot be delegated to any other person or organization. Right, Honorable, that's why you've had local governments questioning why they collect their local revenue. They pass their budgets, and then they have transferred this money to us at the center. And when they collect more than they had budgeted for, they have to wait until Parliament passes a supplementary budget. And then they go back home and also pass a supplementary budget. The law of decentralization gives the full power and mandate to the local councils to budget, to plan, and even pass supplementary budgets. It is a preserve of local government councils. And in terms of the urban authorities, their autonomy over planning and financial management is secured by law under the Local Government Act, Section 30, subsection 3. Even with this mandate, nonetheless, all local governments are under the supervision and guidance of the National Fiscal Planning Board with respect to their fiscal planning function, while they are guided and supported by the National Planning Authority when it comes to their economic development plans. The local government leaders here present should note that the Fiscal Planning Act, as amended in Section 47B, requires the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development to issue a certificate of compliance to each district, city and municipality for implementation of the Fiscal Development Plan by 30th October every year. From here, therefore, the annual National Assessment of Local Government Performance shall take into consideration the extent to which you local governments are executing this mandate. And now that the national plan is in place, I would like to urge the local governments to move a bit quickly. When you reach back home, constitute your fiscal planning committees. Initiate the processes and procedures and develop and approve your local fiscal development plan consistent with the national fiscal development plan. It's your duty to display and publicize the plans to the public, sensitize the communities and developers, and put in place enforcement mechanisms so that these plans do not just remain on paper. Colleagues, let us play our part as local governments to have organized development, orderly cities and towns and villages, secure our environment, preserve buildings or sites of special architectural, historical, and cultural value, and also to enact our bylaws and ordinances so that we regulate physical development of our areas. I want to believe that we can do this. And yes, we must do this for our own good and for the good of future generations. Even with this mandate and with the support of the central government, it's important to recognize the fact that this planning function and service of local governments requires regular supervision and oversight by the local political leaders, the chairpersons, the mayors and councillors, by the technical officials in terms of execution of council resolutions, and general monitoring by the Office of the Resident District Commissioners and City Commissioners. And as we know, the local governments have acute need of resources. So we actually need support in terms of staffing, financial resources, logistics for data management, for planning, transport, and capacity building. I'm glad, our chief guest, that with effect from next financial year, government will provide a physical planning grant to local governments. For this coming year, in the budget, we've provided 5 billion to begin with. But I want to hope that in the successive years, this will grow so that we have support to the local governments to implement this critical mandate. This is significant, and I would like to thank you, Honourable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, for taking this bold and timely decision. I'd also like to thank the local government associations, the Uganda Local Government Association and Urban Authorities Association of Uganda, who negotiated for this grant, chaired by the Local Government Finance Commission, whose chair is here with us, the Honourable Isaac Musumba. We thank you so much. But we still have a challenge of staffing and other logistics. My ministry shall continue to work with the Minister of Public Service and the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to improve the manpower and logistical capacity of the planning departments of the districts and urban authorities. And as a person who was the head of the district planning unit of Mukono district some time back, I know what I'm talking about. Unless we provide computers, manpower, training, and transport logistics for the planning unit, then the DEC, the District Executive Committee or City Executive Committee, will not have the necessary information to take to council so that we develop our plans and we implement them. I also sincerely hope that our development partners, our donors, the civil society, the academia, the private sector, will also rise to the occasion and renew their commitment to provide material, financial, and technical assistance to local governments to enable them fulfill their mandate. Finally, allow me to pay special thanks and recognition to the National Physical Planning Board, especially the chairperson, Madam Amanda Ngavirano, for your achievement and guidance to the local governments. Since you came on board, you've cooperated a lot, you've guided us, you indicate which structure should not be in which area, and we are comfortable with your guidance. You are doing a commendable job. Please carry on and be assured of our continued cooperation and encouragement. On this board, the local government sector is ably represented by our Assistant Commissioner, Urban Administration, Madam Jackie Kemgisa Kiza. I don't know whether she's here. I'd like to thank her for representing the local government so well on the national Physical Planning Board. Friends, together, let us build a more organized and livable country, Uganda, our motherland. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Obiga Kanya. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, who is represented by the First Deputy Premier, Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, colleagues, ministers who are here today, senior government officials, leaders of local government, development partners, students from our institutions of learning. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I think it's already afternoon. It's not yet? Good morning. Yes, I'm honored and humbled to stand before you this morning. I was like, what a day for us to launch our first ever national development plan for the Republic of Uganda. I want to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the support he accorded us during cabinet deliberations. I also thank the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, and allow me in a special way to thank colleague ministers who supported us during the deliberations. And I want also to thank the board chaired by Amanda, but also not forgetting our colleague Honorable Musomba, who was there before us. So thank you so much for your guidance, but also for the support to see us go through up to this level. We are humbled to be in your presence as you launch the National Physical Development Plan. As a Minister of Lands, we are happy to present to you, Your Excellency, the plan that is going to guide the country on the best utilization of land as our resource. Your Excellency, I can authoritatively reveal that in Africa, there are few countries, not more than 10, with such a national strategic physical plan that looks at spatial but also land as in physical. So we are proud to be among those few countries in Africa. And we can probably state that we are going to work hard to ensure that the plan doesn't remain on paper, but it is implemented. So I want to thank all the ministers who have been here, present, for showing your commitment towards achieving what you passed in cabinet. This plan has pillars, but I'll go through a few. We have a pillar on agriculture, where the Ministry of Agriculture will guide the country on agricultural zones. Maybe they will do soil testing to tell us which plant can be grown where, and this is very good for us as a country, but also in the region. Then there is a pillar on tourism, where we emphasize the protection of tourism land resources and sites. We are looking at land protection for natural resources, such as water bodies, protected forests, swamps, and any other area. Then regional connectivity and infrastructure within and outside Uganda. Here we are looking at connections via major routes, cities, but also places like Nimule, Mpondwe, Malaba, Mirama Hills, etc. Want to have a triangular connections where services can be extended to the different areas of the country. Then we also look at human capital development to improve the quality of our population and their attitudes towards embracing but also accepting the guidance the local governments will be giving to them, because we believe that uninformed public easily accepts what their leaders tell them to do. So there is also a governance pillar, especially local governance. It is very key in the implementation of the plan. And thank you, Honorable Raphael Magezi, for committing the local government leaders, because we shall be looking at them for compliancy, professionalism, but also we want to begin giving out the certificates of compliance, not only to the local governments, but also to the ministries, departments, and agencies. And we believe that finance might use this as a measure before even funds are released, because we want orderliness, but also a planned country. We are going also to emphasize housing and urban settlements. All these require good planning. Scattered homes affect proper land utilization and lead to underdevelopment. So we believe that, especially in our cities, since our land is still static and the population is growing, the rate of urbanization is high, we are looking at now encouraging high-raised buildings and settlements, which settlements can easily be serviced by the different service providers. Consolidated villages in rural areas can be serviced better with water, power, and other resources. Your Excellence, Uganda is firmly on its path of an industrialized middle-income state. The importance of land in all these efforts cannot be overemphasized. In the recent past, government introduced a phased city status that saw several areas elevated from town, municipality to city status. All these developments are aligned within our national development frameworks, such as the National Development Plan 3, but also the Vision 2040 of our country. However, all these development plans have been lacking a major guiding plan that specifically defines proper utilization of land, or what we call spatial planning. The National Fiscal Development Plan answers the issues of land within our development plans. Your Excellence, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has been working hard towards shifting the country from a peasant to an industrialized state. For example, when we look at the sector like agriculture, the plan will help in delivering our agricultural dream by refocusing our agriculture sector from subsistence towards commercial by establishing transport corridors. The plan will help in the establishment of the infrastructure corridors to enhance industrialization, and it will also be a guide towards safeguarding our protected areas from degradation. And it is informed by the fact that land, despite its competitiveness, it is the only resource that can neither be increased or decreased, and therefore requires good planning. In order on the best utilization of land and its use for the greatest economic benefit for present, but also for the future generations. The plan therefore provides for the efficient utilization of land and therefore requires the best location and development of major infrastructure in our towns, municipalities, and cities. We want to commit ourselves as a ministry that we are going to work under the whole of government approach to ensure that we achieve the objectives of the plan. This plan does not come to replace other existing efforts, such as those on fiscal planning, but rather to supplement and guide their efforts for better cohesion. My ministry, together with the local government, will be responsible for the implementation and ensure that it is well coordinated at all levels of national governance. I thank you once again for listening to me. For God and my country.
Now, the statement from the President. It's profound honor and a huge sense of responsibility that I stand before you on behalf of the President and the government to officiate the launch of the National Fiscal Development Plan. This ambitious initiative marks a significant milestone in our country's history. This is the first ever National Fiscal Development Plan to be prepared and launched. The launch of the plan is embodying our collective resolve to forge a path towards sustainable development, resilience, and prosperity for all. As we unveil the National Fiscal Development Plan today, we are not merely presenting a set of strategies. We are setting forth a vision which is meticulously crafted to transform our nation's landscape, uplift our communities, and boost our economy through sustainable practices, innovation, and inclusivity. Uganda is richly endowed by nature with natural resources that we can need to be preserved, nurtured, and planned for ahead of time to ensure the optimal and sustainable utilization. These resources include the population and land, which are pivotal to the development of our country. As you may be aware, Uganda's population rate is currently estimated at 3.3% per year, one of the world's fastest. Uganda's population is about 49 million, projected to increase to over 70 million by 2040. This projected population is expected to drive their livelihood on a fixed land size of 241,551 square kilometers. Hence the need to urgently plan and guide development especially at strategic level. This plan is testament to what we can achieve when uniting purpose and action. It draws from the words of knowledge of urban planners, environmentalists, economists, and most importantly, the invaluable insights of our citizens from every walk of life. It is a plan that respects our diverse cultures, traditions, and the invaluable heritage of our land, while propelling us towards a future where progress and sustainability go hand in hand. As government, we deliver this plan at Cabinet, providing strategic guidance on how to optimally utilize our land for the present and future generations. The plan has a number of pillars, which include, among others, sustainable urban development, environmental conservation, infrastructure development, tourism promotion, agriculture, economic and social inclusivity. These pillars are the outcome of extensive research, dialogue, and a profound understanding of our national priorities and the global challenges we face. Our commitment as government to these pillars and I suppose our dedication not only economic growth, but also ensuring that such growth benefits every citizen, safeguards the environment, and is resilient in the face of changing climate and economic dynamics. These broad critical pillars of the plan require the use of land as a base of operation. The optimal use of our land is paramount, making other sectors operate effectively and efficiently as a contribute to our country's development agenda. The SDG number 11 emphasizes making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. I see the plan addressing the goal number 1 target, which is commendable. As a country, we need to leverage from urbanization, using this plan as a tool through which creation of employment opportunities, technological and infrastructure advancements, improve transportation and communications, quality education and medical facilities, as well as improved standards of living can be attained. Most urban areas in Uganda are increasingly getting under pressure from a rapidly growing population and other challenges like high generation of garbage, low revenue collection, growing informal sector, and a squatter settlement, deteriorating water quality, limited institutional capacity to provide the required urban services. Ladies and gentlemen, with regard to this plan's implementation, I would like to advise as follows. The that all MDAs should take notice of this plan as prepare your input into the fourth NDP. I call upon the National Planning Authority to ensure that this happens. 2, all physical infrastructure alignments aligned with the National Physical Development Plan. So NPA and Minister of Finance should ensure that this happens. 3, all physical infrastructure developments should have a component of physical planning to maximize their benefit to orderly and sustainable development. My fellow Ugandans, as we embark on this journey of implementing the National Development Plan, will require solid commitment, collaboration, and innovation. The implementation of this plan will demand that we not only invest in physical infrastructure, but also the people who bring our nation to life. Education, healthcare, and access to opportunities are fundamental to this plan, ensuring that development we envisage is inclusive and equitable. You can count on the leadership and support of the President to achieve this. Today, as we launch the National Physical Development Plan, I call upon every sector of our society to join hands in this new monumental effort. The government cannot achieve this vision alone. It has the active participation of all stakeholders, including local communities, private sector, civil society, international partners, among others. Each one of you has a vital role to play in turning our shared vision into reality. As government, we pledge our support to this cause, committed to overseeing the implementation of this plan with transparency, accountability, and integrity. Together, we will navigate the challenges and celebrate the milestones that lie ahead. Always remembering that our ultimate goal is to leave behind a legacy of sustainable development, prosperity for future generations. As I conclude, let me express my deepest appreciation to everyone involved in bringing this National Physical Development Plan to realization. And I am happy to see the Honorable Musumba, because he was the Minister who piloted the Act through Parliament. Your work, hard work, dedication, and belief in a better future have brought us to this pivotal moment. Let us move forward with the determination and hope inspired by the promise and pledge we gave to Ugandans in our manifesto as NRM government, that we are determined to transform the lives of Ugandans. Let us stand united in our determination to turn this plan's vision into reality and build a nation that we can all be proud of. It's now my singular honor to officially launch the National Physical Development Plan, NDP 2020-2040, for God and my country.